With Nitro, you press the right stick down to highlight him and then move it towards the body part you want to attack. And the body part you want to attack is the head, because the rest of the body parts are armored and won't take any damage. So you can hit him all you want. He's not going to lose any health. The next thing is you only want to take 2 or 3 hits. If you take more than that, he is going to hit you. 3 hits of his and you're going to be dead. At this point, without the exosuit, you can't dodge or run, so you just have to back up, go in, taunt him, let him strike his 2 or 3 strikes, and then go in and get a couple hits. Next up, we have the first real boss, which is the Warden. And the boss just has 6 health bars, and you can't just kill him quickly. So you're going to stay away from him, and hopefully you farmed guys and you have 2 health boosters going into this thing. Those twirly combo I'm doing there is a little more damaging, and you probably aren't going to get his weapon if that's what you're after. I don't really care about his weapon. And running around like I'm doing here is not good, because you can see my green stamina bar is going down really low. You want to just walk if you can, and only dodge out when he's doing a leap attack or something. Then you go in, you take a couple hits, and it's a thing about patience here. You're just going to wear him down, and his health bar is going to go down to nothing, and then he's going to be dead. But if you get too greedy about going in and trying to battle it out with him toe-to-toe, you're going to die. The green health bar shows your stamina level, and if your stamina level is down to nothing, you're not going to be able to dodge, and you're not going to be able to use your weapon to strike him. As with most boss fights, you're just going to have to be patient and, move away, wait for him to commit to an attack, and then get some hits in. That works well with enemies also. The combo attacks for weapons are usually R1, R2, R2, or R2, R1, R1, where R1 is your right upper bumper and R2 is the lower trigger. R1 is the horizontal attack and R2 is the vertical attack. The next boss fight is Little Johnny, and I would not go and do Little Johnny until my core level was over 40, and I had a good set of armor and a good set of weapons. I typically mark 5 weapons that I get from farming the AID guards at the downtown Jericho gate. This fight would go much faster for me if when I highlighted a part it stayed highlighted, but it constantly changes, which is a real pain in the ass. If you'll notice, I'm not doing any parrying. I stay just behind about the middle of his body and highlight the part and go in and take strikes at it, and he'll just rise up and come down trying to smash you on the ground over and over, and you can go in and get hits until it's gone. The next thing I'll do is I'll use my drone to take out one of the canisters. There's the 2 gas canisters on the front and the 3 legs, and once you take those out, he's dead. You can take the arms out if you want his version 2 weapon. The nice thing about the version 2 weapon is it's one of the only weapons in the game that does poison gas as an elemental. The weapon I'm using here is a Mark V Peacemaker staff. It's available to purchase for 1,000 scrap from Highball, the Cloud9 barkeep, and it's really a great weapon. It does around 20 extra electrical damage and will stun people. For armor, I'm using the Jaguar from the Hunter's body part and the 2 legs from the Hunter. And I use these because it lowers the stamina cost pretty dramatically. Since the increase for stamina is completely crap after you put 20 points into it, I tend to put all my points into battery and health, and I don't put anything into stamina. Because I'm using the Hunter gear, I get 5 extra drone shots, and you saw I'm using the drone to take out one of the gas canisters. So now I'm going to work on the legs, but you'll notice the legs won't highlight for me, and that makes it a real problem because it's going to take forever to knock them down. And once you've knocked them down completely, they'll start spitting out green gas, so you know when you're done when they start spitting out the green gas. The actual fight without being sped up was exactly 4 minutes to defeat Little Johnny this way. And it's a pain in the ass, but a couple of YouTubers showed how to do it this way, and it was like, wow, I don't have to stand in front of him and parry all of his pincher claws anymore. Great. So you can see I'm at core 45 with the extra 5 for the marine capacitor. So the next boss fight you're going to get is Brother Eli, version 1. And it's going to be directly after you do Little Johnny, and it's the same core 50 here, or 45 actually, and I changed the implants slightly. So the biggest advantage you get here is you have the EMP drone, which is going to stun him if you hit him with it. With the staff, if you do a charged attack, it starts off with doing a vertical whirly thing. Only I'm standing too far away from him to start it. So like always, you just want to stay away from him, but walking back rather than running and lowering your stamina. Your stamina recovers really quickly once you start walking. It takes a second, but it comes back. Watch, see, there it goes.
I can't allow a rat like you to run free!
And just to show that you can do it different, here I'm doing it with the Dark Star hammer you get from the AID guards at the downtown Jericho place where you're farming for Mark V component. I'm making the mistake of running too much and dodging around too much in this one and like attacking when I'm not close enough to him. When you use the drone and you get a successful hit, it's on his body. You can see the green glow. That's the drone starfish that hit him. When you press the drone button, it immediately launches the starfish, but if you hit it a second time, it will make it explode. After beating Brother Eli, the next place I'm going to go is Gideon's Rock to take on the Delver. But before you take on the Delver, you're going to take on Cervantes, and I go see Warden right after Seaside Court and get his headgear, which is much more defensive than the Wrangler's hat. So when Cervantes is up on the cliff, you're going to highlight his left arm if you want the katana that he has, and if you want the shotgun, then it's his right leg, I think. The biggest problem with Cervantes is he goes invisible, and then he'll leap across the place at you while he's invisible, and when he comes out of his invisible nature, he'll start striking you before you even know he's there. If you look below his health bar on the top, you can see the electrical symbol, so his electricity load is building up, and the more I hit him with the Peacemaker, which does electrical damage, it keeps going up. Once it gets to full, he'll be completely stunned. And there it is, he's completely stunned, but I'm going to run out of stamina before I can take too many hits. When he goes invisible, you want to keep moving because he'll just show up right where you are. And if he goes invisible right after you've seen him, you can go attack that area and you might get lucky and get some hits on him. If you can, you always want to keep your health up near the top so that some of his strikes are pretty powerful and you can get killed easily. It's easiest to parry his leap attacks, and There we go. The spear and staff does pretty good because it has a long reach, so when he's invisible and you're swinging it around, you have more of a chance of hitting him. The next boss fight is the Delver, and the Delver you're going to have to parry. If you don't know how to parry, you're going to have a big problem with the Delver. So I jump down and then immediately hold the left direction and the A to jump over so I don't get hit by him and have him knock me backwards. If I'm lucky, I can back out of there before I get hit. Here comes the parries, but he's really attacking fast. I don't know why. After he does his 3 strikes, he pauses, which gives you a chance to release the block and crouch keys so that your stamina will be back up, and then you can get them set for another parry. After he burrows under the ground, he comes up twice, and then on the 3rd time he jumps at you, so you don't want to get hit when he's jumping on you. You also want to take your health boosters before the next encounter. Once you kill him in phase 1, he morphs into phase 2, and while he's doing that, you want to jump in and take a bunch of hits on him while he's regenerating as phase 2. You can see how much damage he's going to take. It's already dropping in like, 1.5 bars. Once his health gets low enough, he goes up under the roof and he sends out nanite stuff. You want to be constantly moving so you're not hit by it, and you want to destroy it if you can, because it takes away his armor. You can watch his health go down as you're hitting those things. This is where he's dangerous. He comes across the room. You have to dodge out of the way or you're going to get smacked and lose some health. I use the drone here to take down his health a lot. You can see his health now is only at less than 2 bars. If you can't get him down all the way and you're going to have to fight him, then you want to get up in his face so he doesn't do the charge from a distance, and he'll run his nose up into you, and then he'll start doing swipes at you that you can parry. To me, the 3rd phase is the easiest. All you have to do is keep your distance, and the only thing he's going to do is send out these nanite streams. You do not want to get hit by one of those streams. So you want to keep moving, and then when he does this come across the room thing, you just go in. Don't be too greedy, take some strikes and then jump back out and get across the room. You do not want to get hit by his swipes, you don't want to parry them, you just want to wait for him to do that roll towards you and then go in and get some damage. Notice the nanite build up. You have to be careful because if it builds up all the way, it's going to take away a lot of your health. So if you're constantly moving side to side, not getting hit by the nanites, it's just being patient and waiting for him to do his slide, going in, getting a few hits, but not doing too many. That's it, and it's done. You just have to be patient. After going in to get the hits on him, I'm doing a couple back-to-back dodges to get away from him so he doesn't come forward at me and start using his hands to swipe at me. One of the worst things that can happen is when you back up, you can back up into the wall and get stuck in a cranny where you can't move. So you got to be careful with that too, because if he comes forward to lunge at you and you're stuck up against the wall, you're dead. After you finish the Delver, you take the nanite brain to Gutenberg at Creo up in Gideon's Rock, and then you go from there. You're going to AID Command Center. And the next boss fight will be Ezra Shields.